Hello everyone and welcome to your pick a card reading on What Does Your Boss Think of You? For this pick a card, I'd like you to take a few deep breaths before picking one pile for your reading. And once you're ready, please pick a pile. So for pile 1, we have the Sodalite, pile 2, the Jasper, or pile 3, the Magnesite. Hello pile 1 and welcome to pick a card reading on What Does Your Boss Think of You? So right off the bat, pile 1, your boss feels you're someone who is striving for balance. They feel you're someone who is on a path of self-discovery. Your boss thinks you're a tenacious hard worker. They feel like you're looking to improve, expand your skill set. With this honesty card and this 5 of Wands, they feel like you could be quite honest, quite blunt when it comes to standing your ground. There's this air of competitiveness about you. Perhaps in team meetings, you're quite vocal in expressing your views, your opinions. But there's something about you embracing your uniqueness. Perhaps you're quite different from your team in terms of the qualities, the skills that you bring to the role. There's something about you undergoing some kind of dark period in your life, which I feel your boss has picked up on. So they feel like you're coming towards the end of a certain cycle. For some of you, your boss thinks that you're looking for the next career opportunity, you're looking to expand. Your boss also feels like you're quite a deep character, deep soul. They see that you could be quite sensitive to certain things. Even though you may try and put on a hard persona, a barrier, a mask, they feel deep down you're someone with a lot of emotions, sensitivities. With the 2 of Swords, your boss thinks that you're a bit unsure about something. There's something about indecision. Perhaps your workplace has undergone some kind of change, which your boss may feel like you're not taken to. Perhaps they feel like you're feeling undecided about certain things in the workplace to do with the structure, with certain changes of some sort. With the 6 of Cups, your boss thinks you're someone who is quite approachable. They feel like you're a pleasant team member. There's something about you that brings comfort to the team. Perhaps you have a very comforting vibe, aura about you. So your boss thinks you're someone who is quite a dual character. You're quite a mystery in some way, and in other ways you're very comforting. There's something about you that makes people feel at home. I'm also picking up that your boss thinks you're quite perceptive, observant, intuitive. There's certain things that they don't need to say, which you kind of get the gist of. So they feel like you're quite aware, you're aware of yourself and your surroundings. Your boss also thinks you're very educated, informed, knowledgeable. With this honesty card, your boss feels like sometimes you like to work alone. You may like your space. You may like to be left alone to get on with your work. So they feel like you have very high standards in terms of your work quality. You like to produce good quality work. You're very productive. You can get things done. You can overcome challenges. You're a natural problem solver. Your boss also feels like you have very good skills at looking at things from different angles, perspectives. For some of you, I'm picking up you may work in a field where you have to do a lot of problem solving, or perhaps you have to deal with a lot of conflicting emotions, difficult situations from your clients, from your customers, which your boss feels like you handle very well. There's a diplomatic nature about you. So part 1, your boss feels like you're very capable of climbing the mountain to success. You're a good performer. And I'm also picking up that sometimes your boss feels like your passion, your truth gets the better of you. So even though you are diplomatic, you can be quite honest when need be. There's something about you that can be quite fierce as well, which your boss is picking up on. Perhaps it's because you have very strong viewpoints and beliefs, and you don't like to see injustice, which is why you can be quite firm with what you need to say. With the soulmate card, I feel like for some of you, you may work in a field where you're working with others, building relationships, sustaining relationships. So your boss thinks in terms of building and sustaining relationships, you're very good at it. It's because you're very transparent and honest. So overall, part 1, your boss feels like you bring a lot to the table in a team. You're very good at seeing different points of view, and you're good at expressing your views and your opinions. They feel you're very analytical, a natural problem solver. They feel like you're very good at conflict management. Perhaps you're dealing with different types of people, diverse groups of people. And you also make people feel at home at the same time. There's something very comforting about you, something very warm. So people feel heard, they feel appreciated. I'm also picking up that your boss feels like you're someone who's willing to look at your weaknesses, areas where you can improve. You're open to learning. And your boss also thinks you're someone who's quite happy doing your own thing, working independently. So overall, part 1, your boss sees your good qualities that you bring to the table, but they do also recognise that you are conflicted, indecisive about something. Perhaps it's to do with organisational changes which has taken place, or some kind of structure which you're not sure about. But there's something that they feel is burdening you. So we'll just see if there's any more I can pick up for you on this part 1 before I close this off. And I'm also picking up that your boss feels like you fit in the team very well. You bring a different angle to situations, and your thinking is quite different from others, which they appreciate. So part 1, that's all I have for you for your reading on what does your boss think of you. I hope you've enjoyed today's reading, and if you have, please ensure to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more video uploads, and thank you for watching. Catch you next time. Bye. Hello part 2, and welcome to your pick a card reading on what does your boss think of you. So right off the bat, part 2, your boss thinks you're very cerebral, very intellectual. They feel like you're someone with a lot of mental clarity, ability. Your boss also sees you as someone who likes to get yourself involved. You're very hands-on. For some of you, your boss feels like sometimes you may take on more than you can chew. Perhaps you're the type of person who doesn't like to say no, or you like to be seen as the person who can do it all. But there's something about your boss thinking that sometimes you may be a tad prideful. Your boss also sees that you try not to bring emotions to work. You're quite air-like an air sign. When it comes to work, you're very on the ball, very logical, practical. There's something about you having laser focus on the job. With this Father card and this Ace of Swords, your boss feels like you're a natural leader. There's something about you that is very capable, very expansive. So your boss feels like you like to do things your own way. You're quite set in your ways. With this impartiality and this Knight of Wands, your boss thinks that you stay away from drama at work. You try and keep a balanced view. You don't like to get involved with office politics because you're quite focused on the goal at hand. You just want to get on with the work, come in and do the job and avoid any kind of negative interactions if you can. So your boss feels like you're a trustworthy character. There's this air of truth about you, transparency about you. With this Nine of Wands, your boss feels like sometimes you may take on more than you can handle. Perhaps you're just a very efficient person, or you just like to be seen as someone who is very capable. But your boss feels like they hope you are aware that you can mention if workloads are becoming overwhelming, out of balance. So part 2, your boss feels like you try and maintain a very professional image at work. You don't like to bring emotions or too much emotions into the role. You rather just be focused on the job at hand, focus on the goals, the objectives. They see you as someone who's very intelligent, a rational thinker who's very logical, someone who can also be left alone and trusted to do the work. So they feel like you're someone who is quite serious at work, very disciplined, very structured, conscientious. I'm also picking up that your boss feels you're very grounded, you're a grounded character, someone who's level-headed. Even though you like to show your logical side at work, that you are aware of the deadlines and the targets, but they also feel you're very good when it comes to creative thinking. You're able to think outside the box. So part 2, your boss sees very good work ethics coming from you, someone who is goals oriented, someone who doesn't bring, or someone who doesn't try to bring in emotions, someone who doesn't allow their emotions to affect them and their performance. I'm also feeling like your boss sees you as someone who's like the ideas person. You may be very good when it comes to brainstorming new ideas, new concepts. So they appreciate your conceptual thinking as well, part 2. So your boss sees you as someone who's very capable, very refreshing, direct, able to cut through any blockages, challenges. So part 2, I think that's all I have for you for your reading on What Does Your Boss Think of You? I hope you've enjoyed today's reading, and if you have, please ensure to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more video uploads. And thank you for watching. Catch you next time. Bye. Hello Pile 3 and welcome to your pick a card reading on What Does Your Boss Think of You? So right off the bat, Pile 3, your boss sees you as someone who is highly compassionate as well as passionate about your role. They see you're someone who has a wealth of nurture, empathy that you bring to the role. They find that you are a very giving character. There's almost like an angelic quality about you. You love to help others, you like to be of service. I'm also picking up that your boss thinks you're someone who trusts your own intuition, authority. They see that you're very clear in your objectives, in your vision. So your boss thinks you're very sensitive as well, Pile 3. They see that you're very driven by your urge, your desire to help others. Although sometimes they may feel you could get lost in your emotions, in your feelings. It feels like you're very feeling based in this Pile 3. But your boss definitely feels you have a lot to offer to others. Some of you may work in the healing profession, where you're helping others overcome depression, anxiety, or perhaps even addictions. They can see that you're very passionate, very driven in what you do. Your boss also feels like sometimes you may put others before yourself. You may be such a humanitarian at heart, such an empath, you may take on other people's problems or even absorb other people's emotions, taking it as your own. You may treat it in such a way that you may take problems home with you. But there's something about your boss hoping that you can detach, leave work at work, so that you're not affected in your personal life by other people's issues or emotions. Because it does feel like this group, you're very empathic, so you may absorb other people's problems, feelings and emotions. With this Ace of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, your boss thinks you're someone who comes up with very good ideas in terms of making the system or making work tasks better, more effective, more efficient. You're very good at maintaining systems, maintaining approaches. So Pile 3, your boss sees you as a very delightful member of the team. They see you wanting to create positive change for the team and for the people that you help. They see you as someone who's very giving, very caring. I'm also picking up that your boss feels blessed to have you in the team. With this Queen of Cups, your boss does feel like you really get involved with your work. You put your heart and soul into it, and you have a strong will to make things work for the better. It's like you have a innate trust in things panning out for the best. Your boss also feels like you're very abundant. You bring in enrichment to the role. Perhaps because you're very enriched within, so you're able to share that outwards. There's something about you working on your own inner being. Perhaps you possess a lot of life experience, or you've been through a lot in life, pile 3, where you're able to now help others in a productive, effective way. So overall, pile 3, your boss sees you as a well-balanced person, someone who is quite empowered, someone who is enriched, enlightened, someone who is aware of the issues at hand, and someone who's willing to work hard in order to bring forth positive changes. I'm getting for some of you in this pile, you may be in life paths number 6, number 9, number 1, even life path number 11 for some of you. But there's something about you loving what you do, wanting to create positive change on a larger scale, which is reflected in the role that you undertake. So before I close this off, pile 3, I'll just see if there's anything else I can pick up for you. I'm also picking up that your boss thinks you're a very warm person, passionate as mentioned. There's something very comforting, reassuring about you. You bring in reassurance to those around you. Also, your boss thinks you have a very strong sense of trust in yourself and trust in others. Perhaps you're someone who tells others that everything will be okay, that even though life can be quite difficult, quite dark at times, there's always light at the end of things. But there's something about you which your boss has picked up, which is very trusting, very hopeful. I'm also picking up that your boss thinks that you're now at the stage of your life where you're wanting to step into your North Node more. But there's something about stepping into your power, acknowledging your potential. I'm also picking up that your boss feels like you're a very good communicator. You're able to communicate to different types of people very well. And you're able to assert yourself when you need to. So there's a very good balance of listening and advising, speaking. So pile 3, that's all I have for you reading on what does your boss think of you. I hope you've enjoyed today's reading, and if you have, please ensure to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more video uploads. And thank you for watching. Catch you next time. Bye.